Hey guys, my name is Alana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Mental Health with Alana. If you're new here, please give this video a thumbs up and press the bell notification so you know every time I post a video. If you want to check out my Instagram, I'll put up here on the screen. I post regularly on there about mental health and disability, chronic illness, about my life and what's going on, and I would love for you to go check it out. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about two piercings that I got recently, and I'm going to be showing you a picture of each one and talking about the price, the pain scale, and the healing process, as it's been a little while since I had one done and the other one's more recent. So I'll start with the first one I got done. So 2 months ago, almost exactly, I got an industrial piercing. So I'll put the picture up here on the screen. This is my industrial piercing. I got it done 2 months ago. Now, obviously, as you can see, the bar is quite long, and that's because when you get a piercing, they have to put in longer jewelry because of swelling and to give it time to heal. So I think after maybe 3 months, you're allowed to change it to a shorter bar. I usually keep the jewelry in there a lot longer before changing it, just because my body doesn't seem to heal piercings very easily or quickly. It seems to take a long time. Another note is that I got titanium. I always get titanium. It does cost more, but the reason why I get titanium is because I'm actually allergic to other metals, and even gold, like, it irritates my piercing. It makes it swell and like get infected. It just doesn't sit well. So I can't use stainless steel or gold, rose gold, plated, anything like that. It has to be titanium. So you are a bit limited with jewelry options, but online you can find a lot of really pretty titanium jewelry. I am going to change it to a really pretty industrial bar eventually when I'm able to, when the piercing's healed. So what was the pain scale of this one? I would say it was a 4 out of 10. It's just like having any sort of cartilage piercing, really. It only hurt a bit more because I was having it done. Obviously, they have to pierce it twice. So they pierce it up here. They do one piercing, and then they pierce it down here. And then they obviously put the bar in. So because of that reason, obviously it's a little bit more painful because you have two piercings in a very close proximity and it's close together. But I have a pretty high pain tolerance. I didn't really even flinch. Yeah, it would be like a 3 or a 4. It really wasn't bad. Price wise, I think it cost me $70 because it was $45 for the piercing and then another extra bit for the titanium, because like for titanium you always got to pay more. But like I said, that's just how it has to be because my body doesn't do well with other metals. I'd been wanting to get this piercing since I was a teenager. I actually went into one piercing store and they told me that my ear didn't have the right anatomy for the piercing. So I was really upset and I thought I couldn't get one. So I went to a different piercing shop, which is my usual one, which I normally go to. And they looked at my ear and said I actually had perfect ear anatomy for it. Because this is a piercing that is actually not that common because a lot of people don't have the right anatomy for it. You really have to have the right amount of cartilage, thick enough cartilage. There's a bunch of things that they've got to look at and consider. So your piercer will have to look at your ear and have a look and see whether or not your ear is compatible with it. Mine was, thankfully, so I got it done and I'm really happy with it. So the healing process, I've just been using the aftercare spray and cleaning it. Obviously, like when I wash my hair and stuff, it gets all the water and everything on it, so it cleans it that way as well. I don't touch it or play around with it, apart from like cleaning it, which you clean it twice a day. It's been 2 months. It's not sore anymore. I'm not really having any problems with it. The day after I got it done, it did actually bleed quite a lot. But that can be quite normal for piercings, and I just kind of left it alone and just tried to clean it a little bit, and then eventually it like cleaned itself and it was fine, and it hasn't bled or anything since. So it's been fine. Then moving on to the most recent piercing that I got. So I really wanted a navel piercing, but I didn't have the right anatomy for it, and I didn't have the right anatomy for a floating navel piercing either. So I couldn't get a regular one, and I couldn't get a floating navel. So what I got instead, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I will Google search it and put up on the screen. But it's basically like a bar surface, vertical, oh no, it's called a vertical surface piercing. So you can get vertical surface piercings in your tragus, you can get them in other parts of your body as a piercing. So instead of having you'll see obviously on this picture here what I mean. This picture shows the piercing. What it is a surface piercing. So there's like it's called vertical because there's like under the skin, they pierce it with like a bar, like a kind of curved bar, and then they put the two like tops on. And it sits in your skin like a surface piercing. So instead of going through your navel, it's sitting on top of your navel. So it's still like a belly piercing, it's just an alternative way. I chose to do this one because I really wanted something there, and I couldn't get the other two. So, and I did get two opinions on this too, because sometimes some piercers say yes, you can do it, some say no. So I got two opinions and they both said no for both the other two options. So I got that one done. This piercing, I'm telling you, was the least painful piercing I've ever had in my life. I did not expect this. I literally took a deep breath and was like, not even needing to breathe. Like, it was literally like 1 out of 10. It was the easiest piercing I've ever had. Honestly, like, so painless. I've got a lot of piercings. I have a piercing tour up on my channel if you want to go watch it. But I've got like, rook piercing, 2 conch piercings. I've got piercings up here. I've got piercings up there. I've got 2 nose piercings. Like, I've got cartilage piercings, tragus. I've got a lot of piercings. And this was by far the least painful. It was actually completely fine. Again, they are only pierced with titanium when it comes to surface piercings. It's just a rule. But obviously I needed it anyway because, I'm allergic. Now, this piercing, I have been just doing the same thing with the aftercare. You clean it twice a day. They said not to wear any high-waisted pants. So I've been wearing like low-rise pants and tops, like crop tops. I got this done about, I think, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago I got it done. And it's been 2 weeks and it actually feels like it's healed. But obviously it's not, because she said it can take up to 6 months to heal. Same with the industrial. Normally industrial can take 6 to 12 months, and then the surface piercing about 6 months, she said. So yeah, I chose to get blue gemstones because I really like blue, and I always tend to go for blue. It was either blue or pink. They didn't have many options, so I went for blue. And blue kind of stands out a bit more. I'm really happy with the piercing. It did start to get a little bit red and I was getting worried, but I just kept on cleaning it and kept an eye on it. And if it got any worse, I was going to go in and get them to look at it, but it actually cleared up on its own. I recently had got a UTI infection, so I've been on antibiotics, and I think the antibiotics actually cleared up whatever was going on with the belly piercing, as well as helping the UTI. So yeah, that was actually helpful. The other piercings that I have is I have my nipples pierced. So that was the most painful piercing out of all of my piercings. That was rough. And then these two were the next two most painful piercings ever. But yeah, so I've had a lot of experience with piercings. But yeah, this one cost me a little bit extra. I think it was around $80, or yeah, I think it was $80 for this surface piercing. And basically once it's healed completely, I can change the tops of it to something else if I want, or I can just leave it how it is. It's, up to me. The girl did say if it was getting like irritated to come back in because maybe it needed a longer bar, but like I said, the irritation went away, and it was only irritated for about 4 days. I think it was because I accidentally bumped it, or I might have had pants on that was like rubbing against it, and because it was so fresh, it kind of irritated it. So yeah, those were the two piercings that I got. If you have any questions, comment down below, and know that if you don't have a anatomy for a navel piercing, you can actually get this surface piercing done, and it looks just as cool. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Please subscribe, and I will see you in my next one.